Welcome. Welcome to the show. Paul, what's the show called?
Sunday Chat!
Indeed it is. Windows open.
It could also be vans rushing down the road delivering things.
The windows open. Well, we'll just have
It can stay open.
Well, if planes start going over, then we'll have to shut it.
Well, I've had planes going over at the plot this morning. I carried on filming. Mind you, sometimes when they're going over at the plot, if you stop filming, you won't film at all.
Yeah.
It's going to annoy him. You see, the things going down the road tend to annoy Richard.
Most things tend to annoy me, I think you'll find.
I think that's true.
The thing that's really annoying me at the moment.
Children in the garden.
Oh, here we go.
Planes.
Right overhead. Take off. Heathrow. No, I'm going to have to shut the bloody window.
He's going to have to shut the bloody window.
Excuse me one moment.
He's shutting the window. He's opening the blinds. Things have got brighter. He shut the window with a slam. He's shutting the blinds. Then he's coming back to sit down.
It's not radio, Paul. You don't have to give a blow-by-blow account.
No, we don't have blow-by-blow accounts. No.
Right. Okay. So, let's get... Oh, I'm not comfortable now. Everything's...
He's got his giblets caught.
I haven't got my giblets caught at
Haven't
all,
you?
Paul. No.
It
Very
just looked as though
Paul,
he did.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Right, let's just start again. Cut.
Cut.
Oh, God.
What we
You see,
gonna
I'm
do?
hot now. I've got up.
We're going to do things today. We're doing Sunday Chat today.
Shush now, Paul. Welcome to the show. Bloody welcome. Thank you for
Sunday Chat!
Thank you for tuning in. It's all good, even when it's bad. It's good.
Is it?
Let's get the book out. Let's get book out and have a little look.
My feet are a little bit softer, I've noticed at the moment.
Are they? Why? What have you been doing to them,
I think
Paul?
having lost a little bit of weight, they don't get quite so dry.
Not sure about the correlation, but... So anyway, down to business.
Busyness. That's
Down
a
to
funny word,
business.
isn't it? Busyness. Because we say business, we say busness, but it is actually busyness.
Yes, and this is actually Richard and Paul's Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat! Shall I shut up?
God.
Yeah, I'll shut up. Richard, what have we got on the agenda today?
Why, thank you for asking, Paul. On the agenda today, first of all, it's Richard and Paul's weather report. For those of you who are new to the channel, we have an agenda. Agendum. Agendum? Agendum.
Agendum?
Agenda
Agenda.
is plural, isn't it? Oh, is agendum
No.
just one item?
Yeah, agendum. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so
It's an
clever.
agenda. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
It would be very short if it was an agendum.
We start with the weather. It's still warm, but it has been changeable. We had a lot of rain in the week, didn't we?
Yes.
We had heavy downpours on what day? Tuesday? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday morning, was it?
We had...
No, it was Tuesday morning.
No, we had... Oh, what do we have?
I don't know. I've just lost it now. We had the threat of thunderstorms, didn't we? But that didn't happen. Was the downpour last week?
That's what I was just thinking.
It's just all merging into one now.
No, it was.
No,
really,
it was last week.
Yeah,
the
but
heavy rain.
There was squelching at the plot this. Yeah, Vivi got rain this week. There was squelching at the plot on Thursday morning. It rained heavily Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, didn't it? Thursday morning, because we were woken up. That's it. We were woken up about 4 o'clock.
I'm glad our brains are working. So So yeah, it's been changeable. It has been getting cooler and then warmer. Cooler mornings, humidity, high humidity, like 98% at one point, which was just ridiculous. Yeah, Tuesday I was drained. I was in work, it was so humid. I got home and said, that's it, I'm done for. Went to bed really early. So there you go.
Yeah.
But it really feels like we are on the cusp of autumn, but it really feels like autumn is going to be early.
Well, when is autumn in fact?
September.
4 days away.
Yeah, but it feels like autumn's going to be earlier because if you remember the past few years, the leaves haven't been turning until sort of October time.
Yeah, but they haven't had the stress of the drought.
No, that's right.
And the heat.
And we had a little bit of a drive, and on that drive, it did look like autumn had arrived.
Yeah.
More about that in a moment. Also...
Weather.
We've done the weather, that was it.
Well, what's the weather going to be?
Sort of 21, 23 for the next week or so.
But cold nights.
Cold nights. And yeah...
There we are.
There we are. So we've got a little special shite-out.
Yes.
Little special shite-out. I received a little message on Facebook, or Lost Pet Book, as I like to call it.
Why?
That's all you see these days. Lost pet. My dog's run off. I've lost my cat. My child has gone. Blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is.
I don't see any of those.
I do. Why do I see them
Are
all?
you on a local lost pets thing or something?
Anyway, a little shite-out.
2.
Just shush now. Shh. God, you're just on it today. You've had too much tea. Shush now, Paul. We have a little announcement. And this announcement is for Greg. Yes, you, Greg. It's you. Little bird told us via Facebook that you were 70 on the 20... Oh, I spat then.
Ooh.
Oh, I do apologise, Greg. I'm spitting all over you.
At least you're not frothing at the mouth.
No, not yet.
No.
That'll be in a few minutes.
Yeah.
You carry on the way you are. You're turning rabid. Greg. Yes, you, Greg. Happy birthday. We hope you had a wonderful, wonderful 70th birthday. You're now officially an old wrinkly. We like the old wrinklies. We like the old wrinklies.
Love the old wrinklies. I'm going to be an old wrinkly in less than 14 years.
Well, some would say that's already happened.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Yeah. You've got one there now, though.
No.
You've got a big crevasse there.
So happy birthday, Greg. We understand you're a fan of the show, so thank you.
And all your friends at the flower shop, thank you
Yes.
to them too. Because they were the ones that pointed you out.
Well, I hope they don't mind you saying that, Paul.
Well, they do. There we are. Yeah.
So thank you.
Happy birthday.
Don't. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, shall we?
There we are. Because we're not allowed to sing the whole thing.
So there we... Who you are. Happy birthday is out of copyright
It's
now,
not.
Paul. Of course
It's not. It's not. It's in copyright.
Well, then hundreds of thousands of people do public performances every single week.
They do. I know.
Anyway, let's move on. So,
Moving on.
do you want to have the book, Paul? Oh, I've gone hot now.
Where's your fan?
I don't know, but I've got this lovely book which I'll be talking about shortly. Are you ready to move on, or are you going to interrupt
I've
me?
moved on. No, I'm shutting up now.
Yeah, good. So, how has the week been for you, Paul? Well,
Thank you for asking, Richard.
thank you. Come on.
The week has been rather good, though I have been noticing quite a lot of people feeding into the needs and shoulds at the moment.
Oh, you were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
The use of language. And the negative language that we can sometimes use without knowing.
Yeah, yeah. Like when someone says, "Oh, what could I do with my beetroot?" You need to do this with your beetroot. Well, that person doesn't need to do it with their beetroot. It's a suggestion that you're offering that they could do it. And I think there's quite a lot of language that we use. It's fine to use need and should for yourself. You know, I need to get this done, I should get that done. But I think it's very rude to use need and should in telling other people or giving other people advice. That's what I think. And I've noticed it creeping in a little bit, sort of in society at the moment. Well, over the last couple of months, actually. And it's, it frustrates me.
I think we should all pay attention to our language and the language we use, because it can be very subtle. It's like giving advice. You can only give advice on something that has an assured outcome. So if you wire a plug this way, it will work. We would advise you to do the live to the live and the neutral to the neutral and the earth to the earth, because that's the way it works. But giving any other kind of advice based on your own experience is not really worthwhile, because people don't tend to take advice.
No.
You learn this when you work as a coach. I worked as a life coach for 4 years. And one of the things you're taught when you train is never give advice, because it is based in your experience of the world and your life. It's not necessarily suited to somebody else. And the giving of advice, unless it's a factual thing that has to be done a certain way for it to work, is very often not taken. So it should be about encouragement and support and suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, well, when someone asked me about something at plot, somebody asked me about Portuguese cabbage the other day, and I said, well, what has worked for me is this.
Yeah.
I didn't say, well, what you should do is you should do this, because actually their way of growing is slightly different to how I do it on my plot. So I gave them the information of how I do it and what had worked for me. And then from that, they can shape how they manage growing Portuguese cabbage on their plot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting area, isn't it? And I think we could all be mindful of that, really.
And try not to use need and should for other people.
And I think also sometimes I find it, I was going to say offensive, not offensive, but I feel like some people are sort of ticking you off.
Yeah.
I think, really? I'm surprised you've not done X, Y and Z. Well, I haven't done X, Y and Z because that's not what I do. This is how I do it. Works for me. Thank you very much. So yeah, I think we could all be mindful of the language we use and the way in which we provide our own experience of something. So we just wanted to say that.
Yes. Quite simple, really.
Yes.
Quite simple. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. What should you be doing now, Richard?
What should I be doing now?
What should you be doing now?
Well, I should be out in the garden working, but instead I'm in here making this video.
And that's because we need to do that.
We do need to do that.
Yeah. Of course, if you're making bread and we're talking about kneading, then that's obviously a completely different need.
But actually, we don't need to do anything, actually. Alexa, please stop.
Did Alexa need to stop?
Well, if she hadn't have stopped, she would have carried on forever and ever. So anyway, let's move on, Paul, from life lesson number 374. So talking about the garden, actually, there's all sorts of things going on in the garden, including screaming children.
Yeah, not our garden, but it obviously wafts into our garden.
Well, I was going to mention this because actually it's one of the things that is annoying me this week. Yeah, it is annoying me this week. What gets me is that if I were to stand outside in our garden and stand there and scream at the top of my lungs, the police would probably be called. I could potentially be arrested for breaching the peace, and I would be told to go into my house and keep the noise down.
Or you could be sectioned, which I'd sign off on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, how come a child is allowed to be placed in their garden to scream and calm down, and everybody else has to listen to it? I mean, I understand children have meltdowns. I understand that. And I also know that, parents find it immensely stressful when this happens. They do. We know, But we shouldn't have to experience that in our garden when we're chilling out. Take your child, put them indoors, and tell them to sit there on the naughty step until they calm down.
Or take them to the park to run around.
Whatever.
It's not we're not talking about generally, playing in a garden. We're talking about something that goes on regularly, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's...
And so what I've decided to do is to shout back now when this happens, because I think I have a legal right to do that, to shout my displeasure at the noise.
I did one day from my office at the top of the stairs.
Yeah,
there was I screamed. There was a child screaming going up the road, so I screamed out the window myself. Screaming stopped.
Yeah, it's an odd thing, isn't it? Especially in summer, it seems to give people permission to have to issue as much noise as they want to. And of course, people aren't generally aware of themselves either.
No.
So people will have their windows open, they'll have a few friends around, and they'll be laughing and shouting. That's fine if it's a reasonable time of day. But at 4 a.m, people outside people's houses on their phone, waiting for their Uber, drunk, obviously having a laugh, whatever, great. But just don't be doing it so loudly.
But hey-ho.
I just find it so...
I mean, we
can't wait for the cold weather. We had a cold night the other night, and I said to you, notice how quiet it is. It's very quiet, because it was really cold. There was nobody out. No windows were open. Paul...
No, what?
Stop the miming. God. So, yeah, really annoying. Can't wait for winter, frankly.
I do love I don't love the sort of babble of children playing, every now and again.
Quite pleasant,
absolutely.
quite pleasant.
Lovely. It's just when it's the constant screaming. Yeah.
It's wearing me down now. Yeah, I was going to just mention something else at that point to link in with what I was saying, but it's completely floated away out of my head. There it goes.
There it goes. It's up there. The planes that's going over is about to take it off.
Gardening, that's it. We were talking about gardening. So my lawn is doing well.
His lawn is doing amazingly well.
I'll be sharing photos on social media accordingly.
It did boost, didn't it? From sort of Tuesday evening to Thursday morning, there was a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
And the grass that you've sown, the seeds have germinated really well, and the grass blades are now about an inch and a half tall.
They are. There's a sort of smattering of lush, fresh green growth. It needs to establish before it can be cut. So, I'll be out there with the scissors.
Yes.
That's the only method I've got to cut them.
I could bring the strimmer.
No,
from
the strimmer
plot.
would completely destroy. I hate strimmers.
Hate strimmers.
They dig up the earth.
Well, if you use them badly, yeah.
I never got used to a strimmer.
You've never looked.
So, yeah, keeping on top of the garden, which is good.
And the lights are really lovely at night, aren't they?
Solar lights that we've got are working really well. It's making it very pleasant. So there's been a couple of changes in the house as well, in order for us to enjoy the rest of the summer and to hopefully be a little bit warmer in the winter. I was talking last week, I think, about changing the dining room over to a snug. And for those of you who don't know what a snug is, it's a small room which is designed for coziness.
Yeah.
And our dining room at the back of the house is one of the smaller rooms in the house. It can only be 8 feet wide, 7 feet. It's not very wide.
I would say it's... Yeah, I would say it's just
8
over
max.
2 metres by 3.5, 4 metres.
I mean, if I lay down across it, I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
There wouldn't be much
There wouldn't
room.
be much room, no.
So we've now done that. I spent a day, well, actually 3.5 hours it took me.
It was Sunday. I went down to the plot
Yeah.
and something took me and I did an awful lot of work down there. And then I came home and I came in the door and I saw that a chair wasn't where it normally is and I thought, oh, Rich has changed everything around.
Yeah.
Joy.
Well, you didn't have to do it.
I didn't have to do it.
I moved the sofas.
He did.
I moved the wine rack fully laden.
It's
I have
not
to say.
fully
Well,
laden.
laden.
It's got about 5 bottles.
No, it
on
hasn't, Paul. Don't
Wine?
be ridiculous.
Wine?
Wine, honey,
Ah,
gas bottles for the soda stream.
yeah.
Various things on there. Mayonnaise jars.
Oat milk.
Oat milk. So I moved it and you know how I did it?
You did it with your
Yeah,
brain.
I levitated it with magic.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like scanners, they did that,
Yeah,
didn't they?
levitated with magic.
Yeah.
I moved it slowly. Slowly. Dragged it slowly.
That's very clever of
I
you.
know. It's like when they move the rockets. You know, they move the rockets on those platforms.
What, Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Amazing. So are you an astronaut now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fabulous.
I've always been a space cadet.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, so we've swapped those rooms around.
And I am loving it.
And I'm loving it too. It's a gorgeous room. Being able to throw open those patio doors into the evening.
Or the morning.
And in the morning and sit on a comfy chair rather than a dining room chair and relax and see the tidier garden, frankly, is a joy.
And
It's
the
an absolute
wildlife
joy.
dancing about.
Squirrels, robins, a wren,
Magpies.
magpies.
There was a parakeet
Parakeet.
again the other day. Yeah, cats.
It's really great. I mean,
Neighbours' cats.
it was snug years ago.
Hmm.
In fact, we've swapped it a couple of times, I think,
Over the years.
over the years.
Mum and Dad always loved being in there.
Yeah.
Dad would be reading his newspaper and Mum would be reading her book, and they would that would happen after breakfast, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one of you asked about a TV. We're not going to have a TV in there because if we want to watch television, we can put one of our tablets onto a tripod and watch stuff from our Virgin box via the internet.
Yeah.
We've got an internet extender which we've had for years and years, which we weren't using, which we've plugged in, which extends the Wi-Fi signal into there so it's stronger.
I think it's really clever. It sort of basically just passes the signal through. It's a conduit.
It's like a little relay, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's excellent.
So we've got that. So yeah, it's great. And we sat in there the other night with a few low lights and some candles on, and it was really cosy and warm. So we're hoping that in the winter we can have that radiator on, the other radiators turned very low, so we can economise, not spend as much money on fuel, on gas. Because frankly, I'm not going to go into it, but it's a disaster It's a complete disaster. Yeah, let's not talk about it. That's a whole other story and a whole other video, frankly.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's colouring everything at the moment in our society. People are genuinely worried.
And looking at how they can economise, in all ways.
I hope we're not going to go too dark, because the sun's just gone in.
Oh, it is pretty dark now, isn't it? Yeah.
No, on the screen.
I know, that's what I mean. I can see the screen. Do you want to fiddle with it?
Today's not going as I planned.
Isn't it?
No.
Oh. Does any day go as you planned?
No, this filming isn't going as I planned. It's late in the day as well. We're not filming at our usual time, so we're kind of out of kilter, and I'm a little bit tired today as well. Anyway, yeah.
Do you want to open any of the slats?
I need to adjust the light. The Snug, delightful project. It's worked really well. So hopefully we'll have a little cosy room to be in on those long winter evenings when we're wearing 50 layers.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen.
50 layers of wool. That'll be a book for the winter, won't it? Yeah.
So yesterday we had an outing. We're out and about. We went to visit the lovely Vivi from What Vivi Did Next and Vivi's Kitchen Garden. And indeed Vivi's Kitchen Garden shop.
Yes.
That is being stocked with some lovely things.
Lovely
So get in there
vintage.
quickly because they won't last.
A new vintage
They're flying off the shelves. Flying.
category is there. With lots of lovely things. Yes.
We had a lovely trip over there. We spent some time in the cottage in the sky and in the garden as well. But I wanted to share my highlight of the day, this fantastic book that Vivi gifted. It's the Encyclopedia of Cult Children's Television.
Isn't that fab?
So it's full of all the favourites.
Captain Pugwash.
Everything.
Will-o'-the-Wisp.
And things I've never heard of.
Andy Pandy.
Crackerjack.
Oh, Crackerjack. Yeah, Crackerjack.
Chocky.
Chocker Grape.
Chocky.
Chocky, I don't know Chocky.
John Wyndham.
Oh, Chocky. Yeah.
Chocky. Yeah. Which I love. That book is fantastic. If you've never read it, read it. So thank you to Vivi for that. Paul got a book too.
I did.
Yes.
Carnations and Pinks. So in a Guernsey Gardener in London, the series that I'm doing for the Guernsey Press, I was talking about during school breaks I would go to a local vinery, nursery, and I would do work, and one of the bits of work that I did was deadheading carnations to get long stemmed carnations. And also Mum has had some pinks which we've now got cuttings of that she has had for decades. They've moved from house to house to house in a pot, different pots obviously, and those are in our polytunnel at the moment. And I just love carnations and pinks. I bought a carnation at the Hamwell Carnival from a fellow plot holder, and I did see this in Vivi's shop, and I thought, oh, shall I buy it? I thought, no, Paul, you can't buy books. And then we go and see Vivi.
So Paul, what's the difference between a carnation and a pink?
Oh, pinks
And why are they called pinks?
Well, pinks are generally pink, but they're like pinking shears because they've got slightly serrated leaves. So yeah, they're smaller than carnations basically, and I will find out more from reading this book. So there we are.
Lovely. So are they all dianthus?
They're all dianthus.
They're all dianthus.
Yeah.
How
absolutely.
lovely.
Using the correct Latin name.
Good. I've just really lost my thread today. I think I'm quite tired. I didn't sleep very well last night at all.
You woke up early again.
I woke up at, I think it must have been 4 o'clock, and I'd been having a dream. I was in a garden with somebody, I don't know who it was, and I was looking at some ferns. And this person was saying, that's not a fern, and pulling them out. And I was saying, it is a fern, leave it. It's unfolding. And they were pulling these ferns out of the ground. And I was shouting at them to leave them alone.
That's like a fear dream.
And then somebody said, that's a begonia. And I say, it's not, it's a fern. It's an effing fern.
Oh dear, that's because of the begonias at our friend's house, I suppose. Gardens and things have merged.
I don't know what it was, but I just didn't sleep well at all, and it took me ages to get going today. So I feel rather weary, so I don't feel as though I'm focusing on anything.
Well, there we are. Not focusing today.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I think you're doing pretty well by not focusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next.
What?
What have we been watching?
What? You wanted to talk about a Guernsey gardener in London.
Oh yes, sorry. yeah, I'm not keeping track either. So I've just mentioned Guernsey gardener in London. The new August piece is also out now, so we'll put a link to both the Carnations piece and the August piece below. The August piece is basically about allotment shows and horticultural shows, but it's also about the horticultural shows in Guernsey that I used to go to as a kid, the North Show, the West Show and the South Show. There wasn't an East Show.
Why not?
Because the East is sort of St. Peter Port. I think there did used to be a town harvest festival, but I that wasn't like the East Show. So so those links will be down below.
Lovely, thank you, Paul.
Next.
Well, it's the final segment for today. I don't think it's a very long one today. What have we watched on TV this week? It's been a lean week of television this week because we've been sort of just enjoying quiet.
Apart from the screaming.
Yeah. Well, quiet in the evening. Shut the door. You can't hear anything. That double glazing's very good.
We watched one. We watched one program. We watched a TV film of Joan Crawford, Della.
We watched Della, which frankly I thought was appalling.
I really enjoyed it.
No,
I think you fell asleep.
Yeah.
It was a sort of ultra budget TV movie. And
ultra budget.
Well, I mean,
ultra low budget.
Ultra low budget, yeah.
Well, if you were to describe something as an ultra budget, it could be an incredibly high budget.
No, it was low, but the some of the sets really sort of looked. They were like sets.
Well, the lighting. It was that was the main giveaway. The lighting was very flat, and every single scene where she had a close up, there was Vaseline on the lens to such an extent that it was almost obscuring her.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It wasn't that beautiful soft focus that you get in classic movies. It was like smeared. It was just not working at all. So I lost interest very quickly and fell asleep. Yeah.
And then we watched Quatermass 2.
Again, absolutely dire.
It was like a 1950s black and white.
We watched it because we wanted to see what happened in the end, but it was dire. The acting was atrocious.
It was.
Truly.
And there were a few good actors in the crowd scenes that then went on to do quite a bit of work. But the main ones, no.
No, it's just terrible. We watched a good documentary on spies.
Yeah.
The Secrets of Spies. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was on ITV, and I think there's one episode to come, and there's one that was broadcast several weeks ago, which we haven't seen yet. So we will watch that on the coming weeks on ITV Hub.
The upshot of it was that the spies in Russia seem to have much more of an exciting time than the spies in the UK.
Yeah. basically.
Yeah. Spies in the UK seems to be, frankly, a glorified office job with a little bit of passing of things around the world. More of a courier, really, than a spy.
I have also
interesting.
watched, not with you, but I have also watched the Ipcress file, the new version that ITV have done, and I have to say, I think it's pretty good.
But again, you know, we've said this before. The sun's gone in again. We've said this before, you know, when you get these political situations going on and these dangerous things happening in the world, and it's like, well, where's James Bond then?
Where are the James Bonds?
Where are they? Why aren't they sorting this out? And you suddenly realise that the spy world in books, film and television is fictional. It's a fictional world. It kind of, the James Bond thing just doesn't exist.
No, I don't think
it's
so.
glamorised. It's a glamorised thing. And it also makes one wonder why we need spies. You think about this, and it raises the questions, you know, why do people go to war? Why do we need spies? Why don't people like each other? Why don't nations get along? You know, I mean, we live in a great world in so many ways, but in so many other ways, the human race has got a lot to answer for.
Humans.
You know, the human race
Yeah.
has got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, I mean, we are the only thing on the planet that there is no use for us.
We're like a
whatsoever.
virus.
We are a virus.
Some kind of virus.
We are a
that
virus.
just can't get on, you know. Stealing from our own people. That's what we're doing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, commonly called profiteering.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Crazy. What a crazy world we live in, you know. Hey, let's talk about something cheerful, but that's the end.
So it is nothing cheerful. No, reasons to be cheerful.
Ian Drury.
Bunnies.
Ian Jury.
Cats.
Candy.
Candy.
Chocolate.
Clouds.
Umbrellas.
Blue skies. Pink umbrellas. Red umbrellas.
The
blue
umbrellas of
umbrellas.
Cherbourg.
The umbrellas of Cherbourg.
God, that film, that's the most annoying film I have ever watched
It doesn't
in my
take
life.
long from fluffy bunnies and lovely cats to
Have you ever
umbrellas
seen
of
it?
Cherbourg.
Have you ever seen The Umbrellas of Cherbourg?
I
Honestly,
have.
give it 10 minutes and that song is going to start annoying you. I can assure you. It looks beautiful. Looks
Cinematography is
gorgeous.
lovely.
But I had to turn it off because I wanted to use that umbrella to murder her. In fact, if that had happened, it would have been done something more exciting, frankly.
Oh, dearie me.
So
there
that's
we are.
it for this week's slightly different Sunday chat.
Sunday chat!
Yeah, sorry that it's maybe not as effervescent as usual, but, you know.
Next
What?
week you'll be full of bubbling loveliness.
Not if you've got anything to do with that, I won't. So that's it.
That's it.
Thank you, bloody thank you. Take care, and we'll see you very soon for more
Fun and frolics on the
fun
sofa.
and frolics, and perhaps a tad of serious chat too. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.